Okay, hello everybody. This is the start of a new series called Time Mule versus Artstream. Now, Time Mule, I've mentioned in the past that it is a podcast, both comedy, skits, and movie reviews, done by my brother Gabe alongside his partners Mike and Jason. They're only available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Although I've taken a couple episodes, with their permission, of course, I've made sort of some video uploads, many of which you can find on this YouTube channel itself. However, they are getting more active and uploading videos onto their YouTube channel, which of course will be shared in the description below. However, from what I also understand, they don't exactly have the best archiving of episodes. So I decided what would be a good middle ground. What would be a good middle ground for videos for me, and also kind of sharing more Time Mule with you guys. So I decided to kind of kill two birds with one stone. I've tried doing basic live art streams, but I never do them from beginning to end. I usually just start work on a single piece of artwork in the middle or towards the end of it, because most of the time what I like to do is just do artwork in the middle of the night when I know everyone else in the world is asleep, more or less, and just have some movie or music or podcast playing in the background. And Time Mule has been a big help in that regard as well. And I think it might also be kind of an educational tool for you. So like I said, I'm killing two birds, possibly three birds, two birds with one stone, by doing these art streams that will feature episodes of Time Mule, as well as me actually starting an illustration from scratch. Kind of from scratch, because I've already done the sketches ahead of time elsewhere and scanned them, but as far as from scratch, as far as digitally inking and coloring them here. So yeah, you get to see me do artwork from beginning to end, so to speak, and you get to listen to episodes of Time Mule an episode by an episode. Now, I was thinking of doing a 2-hour stream and getting 2 episodes of Time Mule in there, because usually the episodes of Time Mule are only an hour long. But I figured for simplicity's sake, each episode will be an episode of Time Mule followed with the art stream. That way I'm not here for an extended amount of time, and you people don't have to be marathoning this podcast either. In addition to that, some of these episodes of Time Mule go beyond a simple hour. So that's another issue that I don't want to deal with. There are some episodes that are actually feature length. So yeah, this is basically art stream with Time Mule archiving at the same time. And we're going to be starting with the very first episode of Time Mule. Actually, correct that. We'll be starting with a 7-minute teaser of Time Mule, followed by the first episode. However, some context to what I'm drawing. As you know, I've been doing these kind of comical monster illustrations, repurposing pre-existing fan art, and it was heavily inspired by something called Pachimon, which is more of a fan term than an official term. Pachimon were these mass-produced bootleg kaiju trading cards printed and sold in mass across Japan in the 1970s, possibly even the 60s and early 80s. And they are kind of an infamous thing that I'm going to be going into detail in an upcoming video. But I've done a bunch of artwork featuring my own sort of takes on the Pachimon, not the existing ones from these infamous bootleg cards, but just taking some of my past fan art and doing my own takes on these characters inspired by it. This skull-like monster is going to be the next entry I'm going to be working on. But yeah, this one's going to be very simple, because the Enshohma / comedy kaiju thing I'm working on is something that is going to get printed in October. A little secret, ladies and gentlemen, I have 48 pages already finished and ready for printing. I just want to fill it with as many auxiliary monsters as possible, and this guy is one of them. So let's fade to black. We'll start with the teaser, and then go ahead and start.
Alright guys, quick, hurry.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Hey, Jason here.
Hi, I'm Gabe, and we're Time Mule.
And this is a short teaser episode. Shh, no, quiet down. Okay, this is a short teaser episode. We'll have a full-length episode out around August 1st.
Yeah, and this show, okay, so I just gotta get this out quick. The show is gonna have sketches, some interviews, fake commercials, and we're gonna talk about things that we watch.
Yeah, and one of those movies that we're watching is Nothing Lasts Forever. And if you want to watch along with us, just send a message to timemule@gmail.com, and we'll send you a link.
And also, we'll be talking about
a very disturbing sitcom from the 1980s. It's called Small Wonder. A man builds a daughter. She's a robot. It's a mess.
All right, so I'm just gonna be really quiet, but I'm gonna hit the button to roll the clip.
Like, where do you guys stand on interspecial relationships? Like, first of all, there should be like a rule, like a sheep and a human, no, because they're not like on the same intellectual plane, you know. But if like there was another species that we met, we didn't like lock up. Do you think that's okay? We're on the same intellectual plane. No one's being taken advantage of here.
You got to at least try, I guess. See where it goes. Just a big experiment.
That's where I would go. I'd be like, I don't care, you know, whatever.
I grew up watching a lot of Star Trek.
Yeah.
And, you know, whenever those scantily clad green women would pop up, all the crew members who, most of them, I think, are from Earth, they were lusting after them. Like, we don't know what happened behind the scenes. So for me, it just seems like a no-brainer.
Now, what about a robot?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. If me and the robot connected.
Yeah, why not?
Not like a bleep, blop, bloop robot, like a proper, you know.
Like, would you fuck R2-D2? That's what I want to know.
That I would not.
Okay.
I'm not attracted to R2-D2.
I know he's pretty cute.
There's nothing to... I'm not going to cuddle up with that. I don't know what's saying. Movies come out of that thing.
He's probably recording me.
I'll tell you, you know, I never met a robot I was attracted to, but I'm going to keep it open because robots are getting smarter and smarter. Do you know, I went to the supermarket today and they have this robot that goes around. I'm not sure what it does, but I say hello to it out loud.
Little Roomba thing?
No, it's like a tall thing. It's pretty tall. It comes up to here, like on me. Like I'm 5 something. They put some googly eyes on it. I say hi, you know why? So it remembers. Someday when it all comes down, robots take over like, that one. He was always nice to us.
This one was nice. I like him.
This one we won't kill, but we will like cut open his brain and
We'll make it a quick death.
Oh, why? Why are you keeping me alive?
Now, I have to say this, you know, I have to have this little like preamble. Not now, but when I was a child, I had a crush on Small Wonder.
Oh, yeah.
She was, it was an age appropriate. Well, she was probably older because I think the show might have been, I don't know if I was watching it new, but Vicky, right?
Yeah, Vicky, that's right. Do you remember there was this one episode of that show? And
I hope you're going to say what I think you're going to say.
well, I don't know. Well, this is like a nightmare. As a parent myself, it's like a fucking nightmare now. Even then as a kid, they're at the shopping mall. I don't know what they're doing. What did they buy back then? Double stuffed Oreos?
Just
Chunky bars?
D batteries.
And this guy comes up, you know, the whole family, they take the robot girl with them, and he goes, Rebecca, it's you. No. So go to commercial. It turns out they go home, they spirit her away. I don't remember what happened, but the dad, the inventor, he goes, let me go through my files again. And he looks through his files and goes, oh, the picture I used for Vicky's face was from this missing child thing in the paper.
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Yes. And so they have to explain it to this guy because the guy's like, I'm calling the police. And like, not only does this guy have to like live like a daily nightmare of his child being abducted, but they had to explain to him, well, there's a walking, talking robot facsimile of her out there, which is a complete nightmare. Complete waking nightmare. And he didn't take the robot. Like, they should have gave him the robot.
Or make another one.
That was just rude. Yeah.
Well, the one that is a nightmare for me is the boy.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Jamie was his name.
Yep.
But I think there was one where he was like, yeah, I don't really want to go to school. Like, I don't care. Like, this homeless guy, there's like a homeless guy. He's like, he does whatever he wants all day. This looks awesome. I would love to be a homeless guy. And so his dad is like, okay, you want to be a homeless guy? Then you're homeless. So they leave him overnight in this alley.
My God.
Yeah, the kid's going like, oh God, what was that? What was that sound? And then it gets to be a point where it's like, oh shit, this kid's gonna get murdered. And then the dad just shows up and he goes up to the homeless guy from the beginning. He's like, all right, thanks so much, Carl, for letting us do this. I think Jamie really learned his lesson. And Carl's like, no problem, you know?
Audience loses it. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy to help you out. Like, oh, here's $2, you know? Have a good.
That was parenting in the 80s.
Yeah.
Also, we should say that this kid played the brother. He had like one like mode of it was a kid actor, I understand, but he sounded like this. Like it was just always this timbre, this vocal tone. Hi, Vicky. What are you doing? And so I imagine him going, never deviated from that. It's like, I want to smoke cigarettes and be a bum. Was that like? I just don't see. I've got to look for that one up. That's gonna be good.
And I'm actually kind of hoping I made it up because then we could do something with that. But
well, the actor became homeless. Like
really,
I think like a few before the pandemic. I remember, there's one of those stories where, oh, that's just exploiting this poor guy. But did I read that story? Oh, yes, I did.
I did just look this up. Small Wonder, Season 2, Episode 5, Home Sweet Homeless.
Oh, my God.
Wow, that's
if we need to go into a little more detail, it's there for us. There's several ways we could watch it. We could even step out of the dark web to watch it.
What was that thing they tried to replace Blu-ray with? Was it like 4D or something?
4K.
Oh.
What was it called?
4K.
I'm going to get that version of it.
All right, everybody. So remember, nothing lasts forever. We'll hook you up with a top secret password and follow us on Instagram at Time Mule.
Aw, nuts. I think they found us. Come on, guys. Let's cheese it. Quick. Why do we have to steal a mummy?
Holy shit, do they have guns? They have guns! Hello, Gabe here, and I'm here to tell you about Icanoff mattresses. Now I know what you're thinking. Here comes another ad about a cheap mattress that can be sent to my house conveniently in a cardboard box. Well, what if I told you that this mattress is made with 100% recycled material and zero carbon footprint, and can still conveniently be sent to your home, not in a cardboard box, but as a cardboard box? Several of them stacked together. That's right. Icanoff Mattresses takes discarded cardboard boxes and repurposes them to redefine the term bed to make the leading and only mattress alternative on the market today. Want your mattress personalized? For an additional $150, they will rummage through their abandoned warehouse to assemble a mattress of shipping labels with your name on it, so they can all return where they came from. And for an additional $10,000, they will say that they promise not to steal your identity. You might be asking, is there some sort of warranty or money-back guarantee? Well, let me tell you that I have no clue. A big man in a leather jacket handed me this ad copy on the sidewalk outside my apartment, and he told me to read this on the show and no one will get hurt, which I can only assume he is referring to my two co-hosts, whom I haven't heard or seen in like 2 or 3 days. So what are you waiting for? Go to www.icanoffmattresses.com. Remember, mattress must be in quotations, and enter promo code DeviantART to get your credit card information removed from up to 6 shady websites.
Time Mule.
Hello, the name of this segment is Now Showing.
So, imagine you're at if you're a New Englander, you're at Stop and Shop. If you're one of these cuckoo Holly weirdos, you're probably at Ralph's. You're in the video store. You're a kid, You're in the VHS rental section. And on the little TV, they're playing a movie. They have the VHS box. A little stand that says Now Showing. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna watch a movie. We assign a movie, something we want to see, something we've never seen, always wanted to. I'm just gonna talk about it. And it's not gonna be like punishment. Like you're not gonna get I hate these guys, I'm gonna make them watch So You Want to Play Blackjack. Guys, that's the movie. No. We have to be kind. We have to be kind with this. Today, I think the movie we watched was Tomorrow Never Dies.
Not yet. We could do the bonds in order.
Oof.
But our first movie is the film Nothing Lasts Forever.
Oh.
It was made in 1984, and it was famously shelved almost right away due to poor reception from the higher ups. But it's a movie directed by Tom Chiller.
Yeah, and I this is like a Broadway video production, so it's Lorne Michaels.
Lorne Michaels producing.
Putting up the cash for it. And I was unaware of this movie until not long before I watched it. I'm a fan of the podcast and YouTube show Office Hours Live, and one of the callers brought up the film, and everything about it really got me interested, especially the shelving part of it. Like I thought, like why would the movie just not be available at all anywhere? So made me want to watch it, more than anything because of that. And
It's forbidden.
Forbidden film.
You just only want what you can't have.
I started digging around a little bit, and I don't know what the statute of limitations are in this, but the three of us had to enter the dark web to see the film.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was like Tron. We had to put on helmets. We got sucked into the dark web.
And Jeff Bridges lives here now. The dark web. Like I had.
Yeah,
to
he
make
loves it
that.
there.
He likes it at my house, but it's fine. I mean, I don't love him. I don't hate him.
What era Jeff Bridges is in your dark web universe now?
Well, it's like it depends on like the barometric pressure. Like today, it was a hunky Fisher King, Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah, which works because remember in that movie he wears this Japanese baseball shirt. It was the same one in Big Lebowski. Just saying, it's a shirt of his.
So
We
Jason,
cut
what
that
did you think of Nothing Lasts Forever?
I thought it was fantastic. Right off the bat, you see that, they make 1984 look like a film from the 30s. And down to like very small details, like it seems like the film stock. I mean, that could have been the dark web transfer that we had, but the extras that were cast looked like people that would be in like a old like German film or something. They're really, really well cast. And right out of the gate, it's frantic, it's funny, and I knew I loved it kind of within the first 5 minutes because the opening scene has our protagonist. He's someone who really is desperate to be an artist, and he's on stage playing like a Chopin piece or something, and he has a little bit of a freak out, and you realize that the piano he's playing is a player piano, and so he's not doing anything. And in the audience at this concert, there's all these people in tuxedos, and this guy rises from the crowd saying, like, calling it out, and he calls it a player piano.
He's like
And
an
the
old
guy-
prospector.
He's an old prospector with a pitchfork in this big concert hall, and I just thought, okay, I'm into this.
Yeah, I like the I've always liked the old style where a movie will begin with credits. I just like that so much. I don't know why, but
Just big
I noticed some
sweeping
cool
music.
things at the beginning. There was this one of the people who worked on the film. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so it doesn't matter. But his title was Scenic Charge Man. Does anyone want to guess what that is, or do you know?
That's my favorite superhero.
A Scenic Charge Man. I assume you say it's Scenic Chargeman.
Chargeman.
Charge Man. But I looked it up. It was the guy that painted the who was like the captain of the people who paint the background scene.
Yeah, there's a lot of matte paintings.
Yeah, there's a lot of painted in backgrounds. Yeah,
Like the mats they have. in there,
that's
'cause
what
there's
the
a-
word is. Yeah,
There's a lot of so they're in New York for a lot of it, but then I mean, spoiler they alert, but they go on the moon at some point, and it's very stylish, like bad, like sci-fi kind of look, like totally clearly painted backgrounds, but beautifully done.
And what I thought it was like, what kind of Johnny Cash does. I forget. I think I only have like the famous album, so it must be San Quentin or one of those prison ones. We just say Johnny Cash made more than one album performing in a prison. Different time. But what he did was he'd make like if he's not going to remember, if he didn't remember a lyric, he'd write it down and just go, oh, let me get my idiot sheet. So it's like this movie, they couldn't get the big budget they wanted, so they made it endearing. Like, let's not try and make the moon look real then. If it's not going to come close. And it had an exotic feel to it, as if you were watching some film that was lost to time.
The beginning kind of looks like a film from somewhere between the 20s and the 40s. It just has that kind of look. And then, depending on what the main character is going through, like there's a part later on that is just 1980s Manhattan, like people are dressed like kind of for like punk new wave times. And it kind of all feels like it all goes together. There's something that kind of brings all these different parts together. And maybe it's just because it's so like freewheeling that you accept it.
Yeah. What did you think, Gabe? What was your initial reaction watching the beginning of this?
I think watching the beginning of this is, honestly, I thought Jason messed up and it just wrong movie. Because it looked like, they did a really good job of making this look like a movie from like the 30s.
Oh, yeah.
I think even like the first, like I knew it had, not modern actors, for the time, modern actors, because it had, what's his name, Zach, I forget his last name, Zach Griffin, from like the Gremlins. Yeah. And he just looked like he fit in right in the 1930s. I really like the humor. I've heard about this movie for a long time. I think it was always legendary, especially among like people who loved Saturday Night Live growing up. But the weird thing about this movie is that it's not like completely buried or hidden like some movies. It's not like The Day the Clown Cried, where it's like it will be in a vault until Jerry Lewis is dead for like 80 years. Like they've actually shown.
Bill Murray's name keeps it afloat. Like there's this movie with Bill Murray in it.
Yeah, and that's something that's cool about it too, as it is like the Lorne Michaels production company. You get some SNL people, kind of classic people in parts.
Yeah.
And Bill Murray, obviously, it's great these leading roles Bill Murray has, but we kind of, because he blew up so big, we kind of never got to experience like Bill Murray, the character actor, because the character he plays in the film is sort of this like more like, I wouldn't say one note type character, but a guy who just has like a single purpose, and he's just being irritated the whole time. I thought it was really good, like really funny in that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the persnickety tour guide.
On behalf of the cabin crew, Mr. Brown, your driver, Rita Shimkus, your stewardess, and myself, Ted Bruegel, your sky host. We hope you have a pleasant journey. If there's anything we can do to make your trip more comfortable, please don't hesitate to ask. We will commence the lunar teeny service as soon as we're underway.
Yeah, now what did you guys think of Gizmo's life partner in the lead role? I know, Gabe, you liked him. Would you give him a check?
I'd give him
what
a check. What do
you think? You give him a check. What about you, Jason? Good on him. You did? Okay. Yeah. I'll be the minority then, because I did not like him in this role. I thought
no,
the voice was really annoying. It was kind of like the way listen, I'm gonna blow your minds here, but in cartoons, women do the voices of boys, so they don't have to keep replacing the kid. But his regular voice sounded like one of those voices like, I can't play the piano. What am I doing? And I was kind of like, a whole movie with this guy, huh? All right.
I think they did play that up, because they're trying to make him
Hey.
like so naive, but also like his age is a little ambiguous, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because he has these like he kind of lives with his aunt and uncle. Is he in college? You know, you don't really know how old he's supposed to be
I
necessarily.
don't know who you would even fill in that role that is like perfect. I think he's actually, a young man, especially during that time, who you've only seen in the Goonies. It's like probably even struggling himself in real life that he wanted to become a
Yeah.
a more serious actor or artist. I mean, I think
I
he did a fine job. I wasn't really annoyed, but he didn't really stand out either, you
Well,
know?
maybe it was me because I assumed Bill Murray would be the star. So when I saw that, it's like was becoming more and more clear to me that Bill Murray was only going to have a role far off in the movie. I was kind of like, well, this guy should be Bill Murray, and I was just imagining him in that role. So I was like, oh, that'd be so much better.
Oh yeah. Now that you say that, I'm like, oh, that would have been way
I kind of
better.
set myself up.
What did you guys think of Danny Aykroyd um, down in the
I mean,
Holland Tunnel with the hard
Here you
hat?
go, Gabe. I mean,
I thought like he was in it for like what altogether maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I mean he was doing the same thing he always does. I feel, which isn't bad. I like Dan Aykroyd a lot, but it was sort of like okay, yeah, I've seen this before, and he's doing it again, just in a movie that nobody's ever seen.
Now, you will depress this red button here, which in turn activates the red light outside, which causes the vehicles to stop. You will then use this public address microphone to inform the vehicle's drivers that they are to turn around and get out of the tunnel.
But what do I say?
Anything. Get out, go home, beat it, take off, just get them out of here. And here is your gun.
What? I've never used a gun before in my life. I mean, they scare me.
Come on, Bagger, don't be such a pussy. You don't know who's out there.
In a way, like Danny is like the perfect guy for this sort of movie looking back, because a lot of the parts that he plays
Mm-hmm.
are
Yeah.
these fast talking, uptight guys, and that's a character that was big in like slapstick movies, right? Like
Yeah,
he was
got to
kind of
do
born
his,
a little late.
He got to work in a sweet spot. Whereas a guy that kind of talks like this, probably more Joe, probably more like working class. But he got he got to rattle off a list of technical terms, which is like, if he could just do that in movies, he would.
Or he would have liked to have been the Micro Machines guy. Like he was like, oh damn it,
I'm too big for those commercials now.
damn Ghostbusters. I'll never be the Micro Machines guy.
Well, I was thinking like one thing I liked. I enjoyed watching this movie. I was glad I saw it, but there's a lot of like that whole idea where this is a dystopian future where it's run by the Port Authority of New York, and that is such like a joke just for New York people in the early '80s. They like usually that in LA, New York and LA, there's a lot of like jokes just for the people who live in those cities, which is fine. But it also kind of dates it, like the Port Authority. Could you imagine if they ran the world? Boy, what? Because you two live in Southern California. What would be the LA joke?
Some kind of improv group running something,
It's the
you know, and
groundlings.
so things have to like be, everything has to be yes-anded, like in all the public dealings.
like the
That is
mother's
a
like-
nightmare.
The mother, like in Queens, like, look, I just need to know if I need to drive my kids to school or if there's going to be transportation. And then they're just trying to yes and each other. And it's like, ah. Now, as another character, can I just find out
Yeah.
if I need to drive my kid to school?
Oh yeah, I like it because it's not written down first.
And it shows.
It really shows.
So what I saw, what struck me about it, because this is before all the moon stuff, kind of moves to New York City. And first of all, you mentioned the cast, and what it was is, it looks like they just like put a call out to like central casting, because these
Oh,
are like
yeah.
the type of guys like Letterman would have like in the background if they needed a really old worried guy. There was a character on Letterman, or just be a guy Dave would fire all the time, and he just looked like some guy who's living in New York forever,
Yeah.
maybe on the fringes. In fact, who pops up? But one of these, just New York characters from, she's a generation that was probably born in the 20s, maybe, was Larry Bud Melman. He was he had he was in the background. He had a few roles. It was exactly what you'd expect it to be.
Letterman was on the air by that point, and I'm not sure if he was already part of the
I don't
the
think
gang
so.
at that point. It didn't feel like stunt casting. It just felt like
Right.
this guy belongs in this setting.
Yeah, let's just get a bunch of old people. And the cool thing about the old women, because the style, whereas, what would we say, the 30s? I don't know what era this was supposed to take place in or hint at.
I think they do say 1984 at some point.
Okay.
But the style, though, I think does. There are certain times where it's like the 30s, and there's certain times where it feels like the 50s, like the nuclear
So it
family
definitely has
type
a retro
look.
And it's very dark. And New York City is like kind of like, it looks like a hellish version of what it is. So it's black and white, a lot of dark. They do that thing where they make the set look wet. They do that in movies.
It
I don't know if
glows.
yeah, like Taxi Driver. It's always wet at night. I don't know why, but the women in the old women, because it's pretty much, besides the main character and this woman who he meets on the moon, they're like the only people maybe in their 20s. The rest are people like well into their 60s and 70s, I think, right? But the women, all their hair looks like cotton candy, just kind of like brushed onto their head and wrapped up. It was quite a sight.
I feel like the B-52 should have popped up at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been awesome. But it's very much like their aesthetic is in that, like Exotica and space age stuff and
like almost atomic look with like mixed with maybe the 40s, 50s look. Yeah, it was dark movie. But it would come into it because the beginning, he's like, I want to be an artist. And like he's taken in this underground society, which are like gross, wet old men. They're like damp and they look like bums.
It was
And
it was like the homeless, right? Because he was so kind to
Yeah.
homeless people throughout the movie that the main homeless guy brought him, or one of the homeless guys brought him to like the main homeless guy, who was like a society of like, uh, I think I blacked out during that part, but it was like they're all pretty much artists, right?
Yeah, and they make things happen. Like if you're in
Mhm.
their league.
it kind of had an occult kind of feel to it too, because it was this underground society, and we're spoiling this movie if you haven't watched it, but the film goes to color for those sequences. It just kind of goes to like this sort of again, we're watching a dark web copy, but when I was watching it at home, it kind of looked like the colors were
Yeah, well, it
also
was like
a
the
retro
color they
kind of
used
thing.
for Wizard of Oz. It reminded me of like kind of like that first stab at color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the
yeah,
red
yeah.
shoes.
Well,
Yes. Yeah.
Wizard of Oz had red shoes in it too, and it was American.
That's true. They should have called
Yeah.
they should have called it Red Shoes.
Red Shoe Diaries.
Wizards. I'm like, whoa, man. Call me on Valentine's Day and send the kids to the neighbors. Am I right? But the thing is, like, with this, I think he meets like the king of like this. Isn't this a guy called like the Emperor of New York or something? Like the head bum.
I forget his name, but he
Yeah.
he kind of meets the
And
Wizard
he tells
of Oz.
him,
Like,
what does he
actually
say? He
meets
says,
him.
"You'll get everything you want in your life, only it won't happen the way you expect." But the thing is, what this struck me about this, and first of all, the guy wanted to be an artist, but he doesn't know what kind of art he wants to do. He just knows he wants to express himself somehow and make his life about that, which is like, I feel jumping into something like that is definitely something a young person would do. Like, I don't know how I want to express myself, but I want to be an artist, and you don't really know about yourself yet. And I think that's probably what the movie was about, right? And he has to find out about life before he can be an artist.
Yeah, I mean, like the movie's what it's about. Seems pretty heavy-handed. Yeah, like being an artist in like a big city and figuring out what's gonna like I think they're trying to say, like, even if you, oh, spoilers, if you go to the moon, there's still going to be commercialism and all this stuff because just send a bunch of people to the shop basically up there.
Yeah.
The message isn't like buried in there. It's very much on the surface of, it's hard being an artist, uh, especially in New York.
Anyway, what's your art scene?
I don't really know. I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know what my medium is.
Then we will find it together. I will help you.
But I think that there's something about this approach, this sort of surreal entryway into this that I thought was maybe more effective than a lot of other movies I've seen, because it sort of makes fun of people who feel like I have to be an artist. This is how I define myself. I have to become.
Yeah.
And it's about fame, I think, a lot too. He's not just like, I want to be an artist. Like, he wants notoriety. And so along the way, it looks ridiculous. And the artists that he meets, like the people he meets, like in the village, are all kind of ridiculous. Like the guy who's walking, he's like, what is it? He's walking on the
Yes.
treadmill and counting.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Counting
That's
to,
like his
I
art
think, a
piece.
million.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
I kind of felt like a little, like I blushed a little bit because thinking about myself when I was like 20 and I was like, I really want to do this thing and get in front of people and do this thing. And it's sort of embarrassing. And you do that kind of stuff at that age, and whatever you're doing, most likely you suck at it. Because like Mike, you were saying, you need to have lived.
You can't be a good writer when you're 20. And I know every once in a while, I mean, it just doesn't happen. I mean, every once in a while they have this person like, oh, it's a young wonder with her first novel. Just they're always come from Yale or Harvard. I'm sorry, I think we went almost 30 minutes before I got into how much I hate the wealthy. I tried to hold off as much as possible, but I was like, oh.
Next time we do this, we'll set up a timer and the bell will ring when you.
But the thing is,
that.
like, I agree with Gabe. It was like there's a lot of heavy-handed stuff. I remember at one point, someone says something to him where, me, the viewer, I felt like they wanted me to say, "Boy, they really hate artists, huh? This society doesn't like them, all right." And I should say, like, Tom Schiller, like, if you're wondering what the movie looks like, because he did, I know, short films for SNL back in, like, the one that stands out to me was the one where, I don't remember all of it, but it was, I think John Belushi. I don't know that one, but I know the one where John Belushi, he's like, I'm the last of the SNL cast members.
Yeah.
Who would have thought it? He did that. And I would bet he did one later on where there's no joke to it, but it's just Phil Hartman and Jan Hooks. And they have some, like, almost, like, waltzing Busby Berkeley-esque type of dance number, which is just done really well. It's, I don't know, it stood out from the rest of the show, but I bet he did that too.
About the artist thing, a scene that I really liked, and this has probably been done since, but there's a scene where I can't remember the main character's name. I feel like
Gizmo.
Gizmo is entering. He's like going through the subway, and he's stopped by like a transit employee, and everyone has to declare what their occupation is before going through, right? It's almost kind of like a film you would see about like a Nazi occupied place, right, where people are having to show their papers, and people are going through one by one, and then our protagonist goes through.
Well, what do you intend to do?
I'm going to be an artist.
An artist, huh? May I see your portfolio?
Portfolio? What is this? I don't have one yet. You see, I just got it.
I see. Nothing. You people only knew how many of you were trying to become artists in the city. You would realize what the Port Authority has to go through. I tell you what, I could turn you back right now, but I'm going to be lenient with you, okay? You have 48 hours to report to the Port Authority Art Testing Center. And try to keep away from conceptual art.
I felt at like one point they were like it I wanted him to say, I'm not a kid. I'm a Cabbage Patch. I thought that would be...
That would just change the movie completely.
No, but yeah, no, he really wanted to be an artist. He couldn't wait. But there was one part where he was like, I forget. I think he's like talking to. Oh yeah, this is really gross part in the movie where I mean, he literally is in the underground. They go through some tunnel.
Oh yeah,
it's very dreamy. This movie it has like
it looks amazing
to it. Yeah, like if you ate like a pizza and then went to sleep, you might have a dream like this. So he's in this cavern, right? I don't know. Twists and turns. All these bums, they have like dirty beards and all this, and then they are in a steam room, and they're not wearing towels around their waist, but they're wearing like these like almost like sumo kind of like you know, the things a sumo wear around their waist, but these look more like diapers, like cloth diapers, and I would rather be naked than have to wear one of those disgusting sanitary diapers. I mean, could you imagine the smell in that room? Oh, like a smell of a steam room is disgusting enough.
What is this? Where am I? Welcome to the inner sanctum of the phenomenon of New York City. Sorry about all that heat. We had to burn out any impurities you may have brought with you from the physical plane.
Can we get to the woman he meets on there?
Yeah.
She's
on
from
the moon.
Imogene Coca. Well, no, one of the older women who's Imogene Coca. She's from like, she's kind of an amazing comedian, but she was like biggest in the 50s. She was one of Sid Caesar's like players, you know, on the thing. But she's so funny. Like most people might know her from as Aunt Edna from the Vacation movies, which isn't that funny because she just dies. But like the 50s humor doesn't really hold up, but she's so good. And just the way, because he meets her on the plane with a rocket. Wait, it looks like a Greyhound bus. But then they show like a little Greyhound bus toy kind of wobbly going up to the moon, which I actually thought looked cool. Like, I would much rather watch that than like CGI stuff, but that's probably a generational thing, right? But no, she's so great. Like, she just said this one line, like, where are you from? She goes, Dayton, Ohio. And I don't know how she made that funny, but it was perfect. Like, I got excited when I saw her name in there because I barely ever get to see her act. So I was excited.
Excuse me, young man. Do you mind if I sit with you for a while?
No, not at all. Have a seat.
Thank you. My name is Daisy Shackman. I'm from Dayton, Ohio.
And I'm Beckett from New York. Glad to meet you.
Thank you.
Have you made this trip before?
Oh, sure. Lots of times. It's all supposed to be top secret. But you look like such a nice young man. I can't see why we can't talk.
It kind of stole the movie for me. Yeah, because, I mean, she was just so good in it. It's kind of overlooked from that era where, you know, a lot of that stuff doesn't exist anymore. Also, would it be that funny? Probably not. But and she was good in this. I really like that a lot. And did you see who was one of the singer on this bus?
No.
I can't remember.
It was Eddie Fisher, who was Carrie Fisher's dad. And ma'am. So I was imagining him going, hey Carrie, I'm on a space movie too, huh? How about your old man, huh? Well, she had a rough, like, do you think, like, because she had like a messed up childhood, am I right in guessing this?
Yeah, actually, I just watched, there's this,
she looks it.
There's this one woman show she does, that's currently on, you can watch it on HBO, and it's based on this book she wrote. I think it's called, let me see, is it called Wishful Drinking?
Yeah, that's all right.
But it's.
I'll give it to her.
Yeah, yeah. But she goes into you know, what it was like being the child of Eddie Fisher and
Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds, yeah.
I was looking through a list of like modern actors, and I recognize the names, but I swear to God I couldn't tell you what their faces look like. I think my new actors was cut off with Michael Cera. That was it. That's like the last new actor I could memorize and remember. Like Anna Kendrick, I don't know who that. I couldn't tell you who that is. I know the name. I've probably seen her in something. I couldn't tell you. But Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher, I certainly know they're Carrie Fisher's mom and dad. I'm pointless.
So Michael Cera's like the new kid on the block. You're like,
For
watch
me-
him, watch this guy.
I'll be 70 and he'll be like, 55. And I'll be like, that kid, he's really making a go for it.
Like you're at the mall and you're like, maybe Michael Cera could pull this off. Me,
I don't have a crush on him. Dr. Bronner is in this as well. Did you guys pick that up? The soap guy?
No.
The soap guy himself is in it?
Yeah, Dr. Bronner's in it. I read the credits and it was like so and so as Dr. Bronner. He's one of the old people on the bus going to the moon. And I was like, it can't be Dr. so and so Bronner. Looked up, it's the soap guy. He's in the movie for some reason.
What if you get that soap and you read it and like somewhere down the long thing he's like, oh, by the way, I played an old guy and nothing lasts forever.
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. That soap's good because it hurts your skin quite a bit. And that's how I know it's working. Now, most soaps, I don't know that they're working. They smell fine. I don't know if they're getting clean. I feel that's like burning stuff off of me.
Do you think Chuck Lorre got his end of credits like block of text from Dr. Bronner? Do you think that was his inspiration?
Could be.
Like you'll be watching 2.5 Men, and at the end there's this some kind of manifesto.
I don't think anyone on that show washes. I just feel like they're like you need like a twice a week shower, and they get like that dial. It's always like you get like a big brick of it for like 90 cents. That's just the vibe I get from the show. Look, correct me if I'm wrong, but so far no one has corrected me, so I take a big stand on social media against cleanliness on TV shows.
But specifically 2.5 Men.
That's up there as being the dirtiest, like hygiene wise. Friends, oh, I got some things that will turn you off food about Friends.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the moon.
Eloy, it's you.
And it is you.
I must talk to you.
Don't talk here. Too dangerous. Welcome to the moon. We meet later. Welcome.
I think we do need to bring up this woman he met on the moon, Eloy, who, what a beautiful person that was. Like I was whoa, it was shocking. And I did some research on her. Her name was Eloy, right? She was some moon person. And she does voice work now. She's the voice of Amy from Futurama.
Oh.
And her voice sounded a lot like this in that movie, so it was...
I had no idea.
Now, did he have like an image of her? What was the thing where she had a picture of him, right? Or he of her? Something like that.
In the apartment that he moved into had a painting in it of her. And then when he went onto the moon later in the movie, she had a painting of him in her moon base.
Yeah.
And that was actually like a lot of the music in the movie. It's all really good, but like there's kind of like a little bit of like a sleazy, cheesy element to it. Like even when his aunt sings Paper Moon, like the way she articulates certain words and like goes big. She's a great singer, but like it's done for comic effect. But when Eloy sings the title song, it's like kind of a moving scene.
Even though I've come from far away, I feel as if we've known each other and loved each other forever. And if this is a dream, then I hope I never wake up. Because it's the sweetest dream I've ever had.
Well, I was going to say that this doesn't have much to do with like the story of the film, but I'm glad that things like this get in the past have been made. Just so like left field, like very, very low budget. You just say to someone, hey, if you can make a movie for this much money,
Oh yeah.
you know, have a great time. I was thinking about this too. In like 6 years earlier, Lorne Michaels funds the Ruddles film, which that is a perfect movie in my mind. But it's a kind of a similar setup. It's like low budget, like a lot of detail where they can get it. You know, like I feel like they use their money on things like the costumes are incredible in the Ruddles. But then you also have these like little performances from early SNL people. So like the Ruddles, you've got Bill Murray, the K, Danny Aykroyd as the guy who passes on the Ruddles.
Could you stop doing that?
What?
Calling Dan Aykroyd Danny. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I wanted to say something too. It sounds like you're trying to act like you guys are friends or something.
Well, we are friends. Okay, maybe friends is too strong of a word, but I would consider Danny and I definitely tight acquaintances, and definitely about to embark on a creative business venture together.
Oh, Gabe, don't take the bait.
I wasn't going to say anything.
No, you were. You're hinting at it all episode.
Well, the two of you can either be rude or be cool and probably be a part of this thing. What's it going to be?
Jesus fucking Christ.
All right. No one can forget the excitement around Blues Brothers 2000, a critical and box office triumph.
So this is the movie where Eric Clapton dressed up for the DMV? You think the guy would at least put on a nice shirt considering that he's in a movie?
Don't know the name Eric Clapton, but I guess you're referring to one of the 9 Louisiana Gator Boys lead guitarists?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one.
Great.
Yeah, no offense, Jason, but Blues Brothers 2000 bombed. And sucked shit.
May I suggest you up the ginkgo biloba, Gabe? Your memory could use a little bit of a boost.
Don't get me wrong. While Blues Brothers 2000 did actually suck some serious wang dang doodle.
Preach.
Blues Brothers, the original movie, is an all-time classic.
By Blues Brothers, you mean Blues Brothers 1980?
Yeah, the one that came out in 1980.
Came out in 1980 and is also now known as Blues Brothers 1980.
Now.
So it's so people don't confuse it with Blues Brothers 2000. Kind of like how the first Star Wars movie is now called Star Wars: Made in the Shade (parentheses) in 77.
No, it's called A New Hope.
That sounds wrong. But this new project, the one Danny and I are writing, is Blues Brothers 3000.
Blues Brothers 3000. Why not call it Blues Brothers 2030? That's like a 1,000-year jump.
Great question. Danny could saturate the market and probably do an excellent Blues Brothers picture every 20 to 30 years on Disney Plus, but his vision is clearly beyond our current technology.
Oh, what? Harmonica advancement isn't where Danny would like it?
When are you putting this out? A couple years from now?
I think the title makes it pretty obvious.
So, the year 3000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Danny Aykroyd and the three of us will long be dead by the time that comes out.
Picture this. If I planted a redwood seed in the forest, do you think I'd live long enough to see the tree at full size?
Yeah, I just found this website for Blues Brothers 3000, and it says here you can book a ticket for a screening for your distant descendants.
Yeah, and oh my God, there's also a prehistoric Blues Brothers film in development. How's that going to work? Dinosaurs? Oh, wait. No, it's just the era where mammals are real effed up looking. This guy you're writing with, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I don't think this is Dan Aykroyd.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
This one? We're doing this one? Really? All right. Your podcast, I guess. Okay, now we have a segment from Gabe called Greetings from Cards. Take it away, Gabe.
Thank you, Mike. So, a little quirk about me is that I like to collect greeting cards from all over this wonderful country. It's just something I do to feel closer to the American dream, you know?
Yeah, that sounds really sweet.
Hey, Jason, do you mind? This is my segment, and you two only gave me about 3 minutes of air, and I don't have time for idle chit-chat, okay?
You don't have to get upset. I was just agreeing with you.
Okay, I'm just going to mute you. And, good, okay. So I found this card in Bellingham, Washington.
I don't know what you pressed, but you didn't mute me.
Yeah, we specifically didn't give you that authority.
Okay, well, fine, whatever. So I found this card in a recycling bin in a quaint little house in Bellingham, Washington.
Wait. When you said found this card in the recycling bin of a quaint little house, I mean, did you go through someone's trash?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is there something wrong with that? They were just throwing it out. It was in the street, and last I checked, it's a public place. It's not like I broke into anyone's home and stole these cards or anything.
Okay, Gabe, I'm going to stop you right there. There are two separate piles of greeting cards in front of you, and when you said these, you had your hand over just one of the piles. Are you insinuating that the cards in the other pile were all stolen from people's homes? Oh, this is Mickey Mouse bullshit. I can't.
Oh my God. This isn't about how I got the greeting cards, is it? You two are just trying to run out the clock so I can't do my segment. You two are always against me and my segment ideas.
Gabe, we're not against you, but if you're doing anything illegal, I don't see how we can do it on the show.
You two are just jealous of my great idea.
That's not true. Neither one of us thought this was a good idea. Oh, hold on, I gotta do this little thing. The following comments and opinions are those of the individual and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of this podcast. Here, just go do your stupid fucking segment. Unbelievable.
Now, unfortunately, we do get some sympathy cards.
You get the sympathy cards. I, Jason, we do not get the sympathy
I don't
cards.
have any discarded sympathy cards.
Yeah, this is on you. I don't. No.
Okay, so I get some sympathy cards from time to time, but that doesn't mean that the sentiment isn't just as heartfelt. This card features a floral design in the shape of a heart, and in the middle of that heart, it reads, "My deepest condolences." Yeah, it's sad, right? Now let's open up this Greetings from Cards. Dear Laura, I'm so sorry about your loss. Although I had only known your grandfather for a short time, he was one of the most lively and energetic people I have ever met in my life, regardless of his age. When I met Clarence last September at your baby shower, he took me aside and told me he wanted to see a naked woman one last time before he died. And when he looked at me with those big old grandpa eyes, I couldn't help but feel obligated to help him on his journey. Now, you and I both know that pictures in a magazine wouldn't do. And yeah, in retrospect, taking him to a gentleman's club should have been the next step. But you know Clarence, his old salesman instincts came out, and before I knew it, he was in my car and we were on our way to Elko, Nevada, where he told me you can get anything with a $50 bill and, quote, the right equipment, end quote. Although I can't recall the events that occurred after 5:30 p.m. on December the 2nd due to the heavy narcotics that old Clarence slipped into my body without my knowledge, I hope it will ease your mind knowing that he died how he lived, overdosing on life inside of a water slide. Metaphorically speaking, of course, on how he actually lived, but also, literally speaking, on behalf of how he actually died. seeing as how there was a copious amount of the new drug called life in his system when he got shot out of that water slide. I also hope that it will put your mind at ease knowing that I was arguably in more danger with him than he ever was with me. And whatever happens in court next week, I believe the evidence will show that it was more of a hostage situation than what the law has deemed as, quote-unquote, a kidnapping. Thoughts and prayers, Rick. P.S. I never did find out what the right equipment meant. Do you know? P.P.S. Dear God, please drop the charges.
Are you done?
Yeah, that's it.
We are never doing that again.
It is Tuesday, and you know what that means. Fish Taco Tuesday!
Right. We'll eat them and review them, I guess.
Right. I'll be reviewing the spiny bone fish taco from Lums. And Jason, what'll you be trying tonight?
Scrod!
Okay, the scrod taco from...
The engineer just gave this to me. I don't know.
All right. Shall we tuck in, as they say?
Indeedy.
That is so juicy.
I know. There's so much juice in this taco.
One wonders where they hid all that juice. Where's all that juice coming from, Mr. Taco?
It's like someone forgot to turn off a hose. Oh, no.
What's wrong? Did you find a gill?
No. Dad's here.
What? Gene?
Not my dad. Our podcast dad.
Shit.
Boys, it's me, your father.
Hi, Dad.
Well, how are you two?
We're fine, Dad. Look, why are you here?
Why, the Pop can't come by and see his boys. You fellas should come by and we'll make a bobbly like we used to.
We never did that.
No, we certainly did not.
Well, we could if you want. My treat. Well, let's go Dutch.
Here he goes.
But I just needed to see my little men. I'm an old pain in the rump. You go and do your little ethnic food review without me.
And this is where we're supposed to ask what's wrong, right?
Hey, hey, hey! I am your father. You don't talk to me like I'm your friend down the street.
We're sorry if we upset you, but you've been fishing for sympathy since, like, episode 8. We know how this goes.
I'm sorry I was mad. Come on. Sit on Pop-Pop's lap. Both of you. Sit on Pop-Pop's lap. Come on.
No. Dad, no.
Oh, just call me Pop-Pop then.
No one is going to say that name.
Pop-Pop. Say it. It's fun.
Dad, just tell us why you're sad or whatever.
It's been hard since my big Poochie died.
Oh, God.
Didn't Scout pass away 3 years ago?
Yeah, but...
No, it was Monty that died.
Monty?
The old soldier died in my arms.
Dad, we talked about this. This is not okay.
When did he get a new dog?
This is like the 10th dog since Scout.
15th dog.
Oh, even worse.
What is going on?
He goes to animal shelters and asks for the oldest dog.
Jason, don't listen to him. Half-truths. Half-truths.
No, full truth. He asks for the oldest dog.
I am your father.
And he waits for them to die so he can get sympathy.
This is sick, Dad.
And I can't keep covering for him anymore.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Still, 15 dogs. That's a lot. And they must have been on their last legs to squeeze 15 deaths in 3 years.
Oh, I have to kill a lot of them.
Oh my God,
Dad! What the hell?
What? They were all very close to death anyway. I just nudge them a bit.
Dad, this is bad. Someone must be noticing you're going through dog after dog. You can get into a lot of trouble here.
It's fine. You know, most of these shelters are glad to get rid of some of these things. And before we get all high and mighty, a lot of these dogs are real pieces of shit, believe me. Besides, I give them the best week of their life. Well, the best last week of their life. Ice cream, real hot dogs, real beef. Real beef, Jason.
That doesn't matter.
Well, what do you do with them after
Jason, don't.
You know, it's been a real problem.
Oh, here we go.
The first few were okay. Toss them into the woods. But a lot of these guys are real heavy. Basset hounds. Oh, what are those ones with the little barrels of rum around the neck? Oh, and the woods I use are filling up. I'll tell you, you have to get creative.
I think we should just move on to the next segment. A lot of this incriminates all of us. Dad, we need to talk.
Why don't you come by sometime then? Hey, that Bobbly, and you could meet your future podcast stepma, Colleen. I think this one's a keeper.
Time Mule.
Okay, we're back. Right now we're going to jump into a written sketch, a bit like old-time radio. So I've got scripts here, so let me hand one over to you, Mike, and Gabe. Here you go. Mike, I think you would be great as Tom.
Oh, thank you. Hey,
and Gabe, here, I've highlighted these lines. If you're interested, there's a kind of like a, I don't want to give too much away to the audience, but there's like a little bit of a voiceover part.
Okay, thank you.
And so that leaves the part of Marianne to me. And if you guys want to just jump right in. What's that?
You're going to play Marianne?
Yeah. I wrote the part, and I feel pretty comfortable.
I think
performing.
I think maybe you should, let a woman voice that role.
Wow. I wear a Yankees hat. I'm Babe Ruth. People know I'm Babe Ruth. He speaks in a woman's voice, which he does very well. He's a woman.
Yeah, acting. If you look at Kids in the Hall or Monty Python, those guys, they're a sketch group and they play female roles. Let's just try this out. I don't like spam.
Oh no!
Right?
I thought that was my granny.
Jason, that was bad.
Check this out.
Do that anymore.
No, I got this one. Rob! It's Mary Tyler Moore.
What?
The Van Dyke Show.
That was terrible.
Yeah, I feel this is good.
I don't think we should do this. I think we should probably cast the role, with a woman.
Gabe, the thing you don't understand about this is that I think you guys, I put you in this category as well, are actors. And as an actor, I can transform myself. I can play a woman. I can play someone of any ethnicity or any religion.
No,
it's all just part of imagination. It's part of getting into a role.
Jason, that has bad news written all over it. I really think you shouldn't portray somebody who's a different race or religion as well. That's just, I think we're going to get in trouble for that.
Well, have you seen the movie Aloha, the fantastic film by Cameron Crowe?
Nobody saw that, and there's a reason why nobody saw it. I don't think we should. I think it's just there's plenty of people who are want to do voice acting. I don't think that's I don't think it's appropriate if we start doing the voices.
Want to and actually do it. I guess that's beside the point.
I don't have measuring tape long enough to measure the difference between those 2 points.
Are you listening to yourselves right now?
We seem to be at an impasse.
I could do it.
Wesley Lechner. We'd be honored. Really? You'd do it?
Yeah, I could read the part.
All right. We got to get you a script. Let me see here. Actually, just take mine.
Trot it on over here. Let me take a little readsicle.
Okay, let me set the scene for you. You'll be playing Marianne, and she's at home preparing dinner. Her husband should be home at any minute.
Yes, I get this woman.
Now, when he comes through the door, you'll be...
Gosh, traffic was horrendous, Marianne. It took about half an hour to drive the last 2 miles.
Here's the world's smallest violin, and it's playing just for you.
Haha, very fun. Wait, where's that music coming from?
I just said, it's the world's smallest violin.
No, seriously, how are you doing that?
Take a look at my hand, Tom.
Oh, what the hell? It's a classically trained violinist.
I know, isn't he wonderful?
From the makers of If You Have Time to Lead, You Have Time to Clean Disinfectant, and the Would You Like a Medal or a Chest to Pin It On portable breastplate, comes the world's smallest violinist.
Who said that?
Quiet, we're in a commercial.
Oh, do I need to sign a release?
Shh.
As I was saying, ever need a little audiovisual pizzazz to humiliate a loved one? Well, look no further than the world's smallest violinist.
What's he playing? A Beethoven concerto?
Who cares? He's helping me smoke you.
But how did he get so small? I've never seen anything like it.
Don't know. He just came this way.
Why wouldn't you tell me we had a mini person in our house? I mean, how long has he been here?
3, maybe 4 months. Why?
4 months.
5 tops. I was just waiting for the right moment to zing ya. Up top. Fine, leave me hanging.
What's the world's smallest violinist been doing up until now?
He hangs out in this little box.
It looks like a goddamn casket. He sleeps in there?
What he does in his spare time is his business. All I know is that when I need the world's smallest violin, he's there to play it.
Sir, are you all right? Are you hungry?
Tom, I'm hungry. So would you please just sit down and eat?
I can't. If you haven't noticed, I'm spiraling.
Lighten up. It's just a joke.
Do you need help? Speak to me, little man. Speak.
Give him some space. You're gonna make him mess up.
Where do you get a violin that small?
Jeez, he's sure asking a lot of questions, Marianne.
Shut the hell up, you disembodied voice. I gotta do something. This man has rights. Living in a box? On call to participate in a bit? That's no way to live. Operator. Humane Society, I guess. Yeah. Hello. My wife, she's got this very little violinist. I don't know if she's supposed to be feeding him or what. I don't know what to say. This is unreal. Yeah. 1/2 inch, 3/4, I don't know. Does it matter? Are you listening? No, he's petite, minute, minuscule, ma'am, microscopic, extremely scaled down, slight, literally pocket-sized, wee, mini, bitsy, I mean fucking tiny. Hello? What are you...
What did he say, honey?
Laughed at me, put me on hold, and the hold music, it sounded like an extremely small violin.
You gotta admit, this has been quite the burn. Hit me down low.
Ugh. Oh, no.
Damn it, Tom. How could you?
What have I done? I'm a murderer.
You better make a break for it, Tom. It's the tidy police. All right, boys, that's another one in the can. So what did we learn today?
Well, I guess I learned that although I probably could play a woman's part in a sketch, it's not a bad idea to just get a woman to play the part. I think Wesley did a great job.
She did good. And I've been thinking about this since I recorded it, and I can't. I wish I could just disappear. I'm so embarrassed. I was really going overboard on Imogene Coca on that Nothing Lasts Forever bit. I mean, it makes me feel... I just think about it and I go, no, that was bad, and I draw X's on my face. I learned I apparently like Imogene Coca, and I have a lot of stuff to get through, apparently.
And I learned that Jason's kind of a rube, and will believe anything anybody tells him, and writing a Blues Brothers sequel with some stranger, thinking that he's, Dan Aykroyd, writing some fake-ass movie that's going to come out in the year 3000. What's wrong with you?
Well, look, when me and Danny are hanging out in his office, drinking Crystal Head vodka right out of the skull-shaped bottle, we're going to be laughing all the way to the bank, brother.
It's not Dan Aykroyd. It's definitely not Dan Aykroyd.
Have you seen him?
Have you seen him physically?
Well, we have this set up where it's sort of like like a confessional in the Catholic Church.
I guess. I don't like where this is going.
We'll talk about this after the show.
All right, everybody. Till the next time.
Wow. This is horrible. This is a horrible end. Guys, we're fighting.